The San Antonio Spurs are currently the hottest team in all of basketball, and tonight they face the Houston Rockets, a team that had championship expectations coming into the beginning of the season and are just trying to find a way to stay afloat, dealing with injuries. Watching the film of this game, it became clear that as Coach Ime Udoka tries to search for adjustments, there may not be any, as the San Antonio Spurs might be the Houston Rockets' biggest nightmare. So coming into the game, you can see what the Rockets are trying to do. They're putting Şengün on Castle, who's the Spurs' worst perimeter shooter at 30%, and they're putting a more physical body on Victor Wembanyama. The problem is this coverage did not work the entire night, as the Spurs continuously found ways to exploit it. I'm not really sure why they're doing this coverage if the Rockets are just going to switch on a simple pin down, which allows Wemby to get a hezzy pull three. Here, Şengün has to pick up Wembanyama in semi-transition as he brings the ball up, and this is just no contest, as Şengün just doesn't have the foot speed to keep up. Kevin Durant's got to step up and help him out here. Another issue with this strategy is that Stephon Castle may not be the best perimeter shooter, but he's not a fish and he will attack Şengün off the dribble if he wants. The Rockets' off-ball defense was also nowhere near as physical as it needs to be when you have smaller guys on Wemby. Champagnie is actually wide open on the slip after setting the pin-down screen here. However, the Spurs don't see it, but because the Rockets are not communicating to stick with Wemby, they still get a paint touch and they still get a wide open three. The Spurs adjust though, and in the second quarter they actually do hit the slip, help comes, and the Rockets give up another wide open three. Şengün didn't really do a good job protecting the rim when guarding Castle either, as here Castle's able to just bully him and get to the rim. Carter Bryant comes into the game now, and he's probably the one guy who you can get away with playing this kind of defense against on the Spurs roster, because he's not an elite shooter and he's not really going to break you down off the dribble, and here he's a little tentative. Şengün is able to help on the Vassell drive, contest the jumper, and force the miss. The Spurs do a great job taking advantage of this coverage here with this set. Vassell acts like he's going to set a ball screen, but really he's going to slip it. There's a little get action, which is a skip pass into a DHO. Şengün is so far off Castle that he can't contest Vassell's jumper on the DHO. Houston's communication was dreadful all night. There is no reason Şengün should be on the Spurs' best perimeter player in Champagnie, and he goes right by him for the easy two. Shepherd and Şengün in the game is a nightmare for Houston. As you see, Fox is able to get a paint touch so easily, and Castle gets a wide open corner three over Şengün. Again, the Spurs try to attack Shepherd and Şengün in the same action. Jabari Smith does not want to see them being exploited again, so he makes a cardinal sin of helping one pass away, which leads to an open three. Here's an example of a good defensive possession by the Rockets with the same strategy. You're going to see here, Clint Capella is guarding Carter Bryant, and when Wemby gets the ball in the post here, Capella has his back turned, almost ignoring Bryant completely. There's no driving lane for Wemby, and the Rockets will live with a Carter Bryant three. For what it's worth, the Rockets did try to hedge with Şengün in pick and roll action, and this is why they don't do it that often, as Fox turns the corner so easily and the Spurs get a wide open three out of it. So we talked about how the Rockets defense was no match for the Spurs offense, but the Spurs defense also did a lot of things that frustrated the Rockets offense at times today, and it really has to do with the fact that the Rockets don't have the spacing and the Spurs have generational rim protection. For the Rockets, it all starts and ends with Kevin Durant on offense. As he goes in his drive here to try and get to his pull-up, look at how many Spurs surround him. The only other real threat from the three-point line right now is Reed Shepherd for the Rockets. Fox stays relatively attached to him. Wemby makes the pass tough, and it ends up being a deflection. And when a non-shooter is handling the ball out top for Houston, it gets worse. Look at how far over Champagnie is cheating on this pass to Durant, basically not letting it get made. This forces Thompson to drive, and he actually gets a good look, but normally in these scenarios, Wemby will be waiting. Again, the very next possession, the Spurs run the exact same defense, except this time Şengün is trying to enter the ball to Durant, which makes it even worse because of Wembanyama's length. Durant can't get open, he gets away with an offensive foul, he gets thrown off rhythm, and misses the jumper. Because of this, I actually think the Rockets need to go to Alperen Şengün more, as he actually does have a really good track record against Wemby one-on-one in the post. Here he does a good job getting into his chest, Wemby tries to pull the chair, and it's a layup. Overall, I do think the solution for the Rockets is to play through Şengün early against Wemby, try and get him in foul trouble and get him off the floor. That will open up one-on-one mid-range opportunities for Kevin Durant and cutting lanes for Amen Thompson without Wemby on the floor. I don't have an answer for how the Rockets are going to adjust defensively though. Şengün is too much of a liability and Shepherd is as well. When the two of them are in together, even though it helps Houston's offense exponentially, it makes them way worse on the defensive end, and the Spurs are not going to play many liabilities in the playoffs who you can just sag off of and leave open. Overall, I'm very confident that if these two teams played in a playoff series, the Spurs would win, as they just pose too much of a matchup problem for Houston, and they are the Rockets' worst nightmare. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more analysis.